Am I the asshole for demanding to go through my brother-in-law and his girlfriend's bags if they are staying with us? Background: I have a pretty severe dairy allergy. I break out in hives, struggle to breathe, and have to carry 2 EpiPens with me everywhere. If I get any dairy in my system, I'll end up in the ER. My in-laws know this and have been extremely accommodating since my fiancé and I started dating 5 years ago. When we moved in together 2 years ago, we set strict rules for our home because of my allergy. The big one is that no one's allowed to bring anything that contains dairy into our house, ever, no matter what. On to the current story. My brother-in-law started dating his girlfriend a year and a half ago. They came to visit us together for the first time a year ago, and my fiancé made sure that my brother-in-law explained my allergy to his girlfriend and our no dairy rule. 2 days into their stay, she bought dairy products and cooked lunch for herself when we weren't home. I ended up in the ER because of cross-contamination. She apologized and explained she hadn't understood how serious my allergy was. We managed to put the situation behind us since both my fiancé and I currently have and want to keep a good relationship with my brother-in-law. The 2 of them came for a second visit 9 months ago. We had a video call with brother-in-law and his girlfriend before the trip to make sure she understood the severity of my allergy and how serious we are about the no dairy rule. During their second trip, I was taking out the trash and found candy bar wrappers and an empty milkshake container in the guest room trash, the room that she was staying in. Even after she saw how serious my allergy is and how I ended up in the ER, she still brought dairy into the house. I confronted her when they got back. She and brother-in-law had a huge fight. Brother-in-law went through her stuff and threw out everything she had with dairy. We kicked out his girlfriend. Brother-in-law stayed for the rest of the planned trip. Brother-in-law and his girlfriend worked out the relationship after the trip and are still together. Since their second trip, brother-in-law has come along since I don't trust his girlfriend in our house. Well, brother-in-law is planning a new trip to visit us and his girlfriend wants to come too. At first, we just said no because we don't trust her, but since we know this is important to brother-in-law, we came up with what we believe is a good compromise. She can come and stay at our place, but we will look through her bags every time she comes back to our place, and if she doesn't accept that, she can stay at a hotel or just stay home. Now, I'm being called an asshole for treating her like a criminal and that checking her bag is an invasion of privacy. So am I the asshole for demanding to go through her bag if she stays at my house? In the comments, Squirrel Ball says, "Dude, why are you letting her back in? Are you trying to die? Of course you're not the asshole, for Christ's sake. Seriously, do hotels not exist where OP is? I would never let that woman into my home again." I wouldn't either. I get why OP feels the way that she does, but if it's to the point where she feels she has to frisk the girlfriend every time she walks in the front door just to feel safe in her own home, then she needs to stop allowing the girlfriend over altogether. Wait, hold up. She's broken your trust twice, and she's calling you an asshole? She's the asshole. Exactly. She's the one who nearly killed OP twice, and now she's acting like she's the one being wronged. She should be grateful that OP's even giving her another chance. Exactly. I honestly wouldn't let her back into my house. You're very kind, OP. And yeah, I would use other words than kind, but I think overall, OP gets the simple statement. Here. You are far too kind. You are being far too generous to brother-in-law and his girlfriend. They've already accepted the fact that she can't come back, and she has stayed in the hotel and stayed away. It's been no different in the past. It should be no different in the future. She actually, unironically, literally has tried to kill you twice, OP. And if I think you were to die, given how much she knows about you and how she has been through this before, that's not a manslaughter charge. That is second-degree murder at that point. Are you genuinely willing to risk you dying just so that your brother-in-law can get his way in this instance and so that, they don't have to pay for a hotel? Are we really doing that right now, OP? This is literally life and death. Let that sink in. It's at the front door right now. Let this sink in, not the arsehole, OP. And now, on to the update. So I didn't plan on writing an update, especially not so soon, but a lot has happened in just one day. But first, I want to clear up some misconceptions around their second visit to our home. I did not get sick from brother-in-law's girlfriend having candy bars and a milkshake cup in the trash or some candy bars in her bag. That wasn't the problem. The issue was that while knowing our no dairy house rule, had not only seen but also been responsible for me going into anaphylactic shock and had gotten an in-depth explanation of my allergy and why it is important to us to keep our home dairy-free. She still brought my known allergen into the house, my safe space. That is why we fought with her and kicked her out of our house. On to the update. After the first 500 or so comments telling me I am an idiot for even considering letting this woman, who is a danger to my health, back into my house, I realized I was listening way too much to the part of me who just wanted to keep the peace and was downplaying the seriousness of the past incidents in my mind. I kept thinking the first time that she might not have known how serious my allergy was and that it was an accident, and since I didn't get sick the second time that she brought dairy into my home, I was just exaggerating how bad it was. I heckin' love downplaying the seriousness of situations. I was gonna say gaslighting, but I don't know, that doesn't sound like gaslighting. I know it sounds insane, but after dealing with people who don't take my allergies seriously for years, I've gotten used to apologizing and even downplaying my allergies to others. I sat down with my fiancé and discussed the whole situation. He explained how he also doesn't want brother-in-law's girlfriend back in our home, but since I was willing to give her another chance, and it was my health affected by her previous actions, he felt that I should make the final decision. He ended up texting brother-in-law to tell him our original no-answer stands, that he is welcome to stay with us, but she is not allowed in our house. Especially since she hasn't even apologized for breaking our rule again after she sent me to the ER the first time they visited. And I'm his family, and my health and well-being are more important to him than brother-in-law visiting. I wasn't here for this part, but this is what my fiancé told me had happened. After he sent that message, brother-in-law called him and they talked. Turns out brother-in-law's girlfriend had told them that she'd reached out after their second trip, that we talked, and I forgave her, but wasn't ready to have her back in my house yet. She has asked to come with him every time he has visited us. Brother-in-law always told her no, that she would only be allowed to come when I told him that I was ready to have her back in my house. He only asked if she could come since it had been 9 months, and as far as he knew, I had forgiven her. According to my fiancé, brother-in-law was extremely apologetic. I hadn't had time to talk directly with him yet, but we've planned a video chat to get everything worked out tomorrow. The reason my brother-in-law didn't ask me directly about the situation and believed his girlfriend is because he was aware of how traumatic an allergic reaction is to me and that I hate to talk about it after, since I cannot stand to relive the situation. If anyone is interested, I can post a second update after I talk to my brother-in-law tomorrow and hopefully have a final conclusion to this whole thing. In the comments, Remarkable Pace says, I swear, why do people always lie about stuff like this? Do they really think that it's not going to come out? They're so stupid to think that way. Or they think they are so clever and will get away with it. I would love to hear what brother-in-law says. Why he stays with his girlfriend is beyond me. This last part so much. Why stay with someone who is on the record with lies, deceit, and disregard for the safety of others? No empathy whatsoever for someone who, if everything went well, you'd be seeing regularly and tied to for most of your adult life as family? Pokemon evolve better than this dingbat. Honestly, I was side-eyeing brother-in-law for still being with her, much less even asking if she could stay again. So this explains that. He thought she'd reached out and apologized. So now we can add her being a liar to the list of reasons why he'd be an arsehole for continuing to be in a relationship with her. So wait, did she actually talk to you and you forgave her? Or did she lie about it? OP says, she lied. I hadn't talked to her since throwing her out before she texted me, calling me an arsehole for the search if she was to stay in my house, which she absolutely won't be doing now. I read your post yesterday, and that's exactly what I thought happened. It's bizarre that she wants to stay so badly after dissing you like that, and even more bizarre to lie about all of it to stay with you again. By the way, I get it. I have an anaphylactic allergy to mushrooms. I would never let her in the house again either. I know that this is a very fresh situation, OP, but if in the future brother-in-law does not break up with her, I'm gonna be very disappointed in him. Gonna be absolutely disappointed in that man for allowing that woman to continue to exist in your life and in his life, to have her have any amount of access to you at all after all of the lies, deception, and intentional attempts on your life. I'm gonna go out and say it. She did not care. She actually saw you be sent to hospital, potentially die due to the anaphylactic response, and continued to do it. At that point, she is attempting to kill you. She is willfully trying to kill you. If your brother-in-law had any self-respect, he would immediately break up with her and just absolutely berate her and talk down to her for everything she has done to him and done to you. She is a psycho and she is an embarrassment. I would be embarrassed to have a partner like that. She deserves the worst, and you deserve the best, OP. I hope the updates we get from you in the future bring nothing but good things for you and nothing but terrible things for her. Please, God, make it happen. Thank you for the story, OP. Very much appreciated. Our next post is by user Spot Independent, and it's titled, My 23 female, partner 26 male, stormed out of our apartment after I told him that I couldn't give him the support he wanted right now because my friend just died. Help? Trigger warnings for self-harm and attempts on one's own life, so skip if you don't like that. Well, mentions of wanting to attempt on one's own life. Okay, so it's actually totally okay if you go to your partner to talk about things that are upsetting you. Same for them coming to you. I get it. It's normal to do that. What my boyfriend of 2 years does is a bit much. Literally, we were having a completely normal conversation. We were talking about a TV show that we really enjoy after I had just gotten off of a 12-hour shift. I just wanted an easy evening, and I told him that. I told him that right now I don't have the mental space to deal with anything else on top of what I am already dealing with. A friend of mine just killed herself not even 2 days ago, and I'm a nurse, so I'm exhausted on top of everything else. It was cool and chill until I stopped talking to turn on said show for us to watch. Then, out of nowhere, he started talking about how much he hated his dad. This would be fine if it didn't happen every time we spoke. Like, even on the day I found out my best friend in the entire world killed herself, he started talking about his dad and how much he doesn't like him and how he doesn't feel respected by him and about how much it sucks that his dad won't change. I get it. Not having a good relationship with a parent is hard, and I give him the space to talk about it usually. But I just can't handle it right now. Literally, I got off the phone with my friend's sobbing mum, and I was in a weird, foggy headspace where nothing felt real. I told him what was up. He said sorry and hugged me, and then not even 15 minutes later, the same conversation that we've had a million times came up again. I ended up just sitting there barely paying attention while he talked at me for over an hour before I excused myself and took a bath. I told him very bluntly tonight that I really just need a few days to mentally recover, and I don't believe that I'm in the space to comfort him the way that he needs, and he totally flipped out on me. He called me a bitch, told me I was completely selfish, and that he needs to talk about his dad so he doesn't obsess over it. He told me I don't understand what he's going through because I never had a dad in my life to begin with. I'd break up with him for that. That's so disrespectful. That's insane to say that. Who does he think he is? I got defensive because that comment hurt my feelings, which made everything worse. I told him that yeah, I didn't have a relationship with my dad, but I don't spend every hour of every day talking about it. He ended up screaming at me that I need to shut my effing mouth, and he hit the wall beside my head. Then he got his car keys and drove off, leaving me there. He still isn't back, and it's 1 a.m. His location is off, and he hasn't returned my phone calls. All I got from him was a concerning text message at around 11:30 saying, "You're completely unempathetic to what I'm going through. I hope you think about your actions." I don't know what to do going forward from here. I want to have a conversation with him about all of this when he gets home, but I don't even know where to start. This is the first time in our entire relationship where I've told him that I don't have the mental space. This is also the first time in our relationship where he's stormed off like this. I feel guilty because I know the relationship with his dad upsets him, and I absolutely shouldn't have gotten defensive, but I just don't have it in me to offer comfort. Is there any other way that I can say to him that I don't have the space? In the comments, Avalon Kate says, "Not the asshole. Leave. He's abusive. Next time it could be your face, not the wall 2 inches from it. That is abuse. Leave for your safety." Him hitting the wall next to OP's head is very concerning, also disregarding her boundaries and going away, refusing to answer, and his comments are manipulative. This is an aggressive, controlling, dangerous man. OP should read, "Why does he do that?" Inside the minds of angry and controlling men. Among other things, it explains that some men want women in their lives to stay in what they think is their place, controlled by men. Often these men become more and more abusive. There were just so many red flags even before he punched the wall next to her. But truly, he did not sound like an empathetic person at all, and he did not care for a second that her best friend had chosen to take her own life like that. It is so sad that people operate like that and are happy to act like that and see no problem with it, and then turn on OP and be like, "How dare you not listen to my problems when you're having one of the worst days in your life?" What a sad excuse for a man, honestly. I really just hope OP gets out of there and keeps herself safe. Oh my god. And now, onto the update, about 12 hours later. I'm not gonna lie, the moment comments started coming in about abuse, I felt sick. Luckily, the panic I felt lit a fire under my ass. I freaked out, spam called my brother at like 2 in the morning to wake him up, grabbed my basic essentials and a few bits of clothing, and left. I'm staying at my brother and his husband's house right now because that's what they told me to do. I turned off my location, I haven't returned his calls or texts. He got home an hour ago and started spam calling me when he realized I wasn't there. He's throwing out a lot of apologies and begging right now, and I feel completely overwhelmed with guilt and this need to be there for him. But I don't want to be the thing that he hits next. I just want to say that I'm eternally grateful for everyone here. And I'm grateful for my brother, who was absolutely horrified when I told him what happened and opened his home to me. I'm going to talk to my mum, and we're going to figure out a way to get me out of there and away from him permanently. Thank you all so much again. I'm going to get some more rest. I just wanted to let everyone know that I was safe. In the comments, just read this after the edit, and I want to tell you, as someone old enough to be your mom, how incredibly proud of and impressed by you I am that you immediately took people's words seriously, took to heart what you were being told about your safety, and called a family member so you could get out quickly and safely. You are amazing. I know that the next little while will be tough and hard on your resolve, but you have already proven yourself to be smart and resourceful. You deserve so much better than someone who will call you hateful names and put you in physical danger. You deserve someone who is kind and thoughtful and emotionally mature enough to recognize when you are struggling with something and not just dismiss it and start whinging about themselves. You're right that partners need to be there for each other, but your boyfriend clearly had no interest in anything that wasn't about himself. So proud of you. Seriously. Be proud of yourself too. And OP replies, "I saw your comment earlier today, and I meant to respond right after you posted it, but it made me start crying. I just came back here because I need you to know how much your words meant to me. Thank you for being proud of me, and thank you for your words of support. Thank you." And now, onto the latest update. Hi, I just wanted to come on here to say one thing. Everyone who said he's abusive was completely correct. These past 48 hours have been nothing short of a nightmare. My now ex-boyfriend started with extremely apologetic texts, telling me how he never meant to react like that he'll get therapy, that he'll do anything if I just come back home. Once those didn't get a response, he started getting desperate. There were a lot of threats of suicide. He told me that he needed me to drive him to the mental hospital because he didn't trust himself. At that point, I called him and I told him that I'd call a welfare check for him, but I won't be driving him anywhere. Then he got mean, telling me that I should consider myself lucky that he loves me because no one else ever will. He accused me of sleeping around. He told me that my friend killed herself because I neglected her, just like I'm neglecting him. That shit broke me. I told him that we're done and that I need to come get my stuff, so he needs to be out of the apartment. I also told him that I wasn't coming alone and that my brother and brother-in-law were coming to help me. I went to go get my things earlier today while he was at work. He trashed my apartment. There were holes in the walls. He destroyed all of my clothing, he tore up my photos, my makeup is ruined, anything that he thought might have sentimental value to me is destroyed. Fuck, man. I took photos of everything. I don't know what to do about the damage to the actual walls of my apartment or what to do about the lease. I'm thinking of filing a protective order against him in case he starts showing up to my job. I'm just done. I'm checking out for a while, and I'm going to focus on restarting and getting myself back together. In the comments, Situation Sad says, I've called the police to make a person manipulating people by threatening suicide go to the hospital. 10 out of 10 recommend. They either mean it and therefore need it, or they get to spend 72 hours explaining to strangers they didn't mean it for like $30,000. I did the same with my abusive boyfriend when he drove off, drunk and threatening to drive into a tree. Zero regrets for calling the cops. I would have called them even without the threat. He was over the drinking and driving limit in our country. I also gasped when I read, Then he got mean, telling me that I should consider myself lucky that he loves me because no one else ever will, because that same asshole said those exact words to me. Same ex punched holes in the wall of every house we lived in too. It's like there's an abuser playbook or something. The way guys like this stay hovering at about 20 in terms of anger and violence, and then immediately ramp up to 110 when their chosen target/victim/plaything decides not to put up with it anymore, is truly terrifying. Yeah, no kidding, the deadliest time in an abusive relationship is when you try to leave. 100% truth. My non-specific female relative, Anonymity, was married to a controlling man for 20 plus years. He hid it well, and when she finally left him, he murdered her. And it's cases like these, and comments like these, that I find it important to share stories like these, and repeat the lessons that we need to learn from them. If people are not aware of the signs, and they're not aware of the language, the behaviors, the subtle manipulations of these people, and how to spot it within their own relationships and within, other relationships around them, we risk falling victim or not being able to help others when we should otherwise have the ability to spot these things. I am so genuinely happy that OP got out of this situation. It's not a situation that anyone should ever have to be in. I have a friend of mine that I'm very close to that had a very similar situation happen to her. But in her situation, he had recorded a lot of things with her and with him without her consent. He had done this to many other people, and the full force of the law came down on this guy. But none of the other stuff was important. It was only that in which the police cared about it and did something about it. And even then, in Australia, you're still a free man after all of this. It's not like he's in jail right now. I do hope that he leaves OP alone, but I know we don't have a great track record of that happening once people have escaped abusive relationships. So all I can hope from this is that people are educated about what signs to look out for and can use the advice of these comments and these other situations and their outcomes in the updates to guide them in what to do and what not to do. Thank you for the story, OP. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I hope things are better now. Our next post is by user CheekSuper7240, and it's titled, I installed a lockbox for my cheese, and now my roommate says I'm creating division in this house. Am I overreacting? Okay, so this might sound insane, but hear me out. I, 24 male, live with 2 roommates. One of them, 29 male, is fine. The other one, 28 female, is a fridge pirate with sticky fingers and zero shame. I don't even think she likes half the stuff she steals, she just eats it because it's there. The final straw was my cheese. My mother brings me cheese from my home country every time she visits. No, I cannot buy it here. I had it hidden behind the milk for safekeeping, but I opened the fridge yesterday and it was gone. She said, "Oh, I didn't think it was a big deal. It's just cheese." Huh? No, it is not just cheese. That cheese was the only joy that I had left this week. So I snapped. I went full chaos. I bought a small fridge lockbox. Yup, a plastic safe that goes inside the fridge. Combo lock and everything. Put my cheese, my fancy yogurt, my cold brew, and my chocolate in there, labeled it, unauthorized entry will be considered an act of war. She saw it and now says that I'm creating division in a house and being hostile and passive-aggressive. Am I? Or is this what happens when you push a peaceful person to the brink over dairy? Because honestly, I'm about 3 bites away from putting AirTags in my hummus. In the comments, Terrier Derriere says, not overreacting. A roommate of mine had a best friend over most weekends who was pretty much always drunk. She did the same thing with my food. I was a bartender living off tips, and the friend was a spoiled little rich girl whose excuse was, I was drunk. Why should I apologize if I don't even remember doing it? What? She also always got ready in our half bath and would leave broken makeup and mats of hair in our sink. The topper was having sex on our couch with a random while on her period. Before I bought a fridge locker, I would tie the fridge doors up with a complicated knot that I knew that her drunk ass could not figure out. I still get angry 15 years later when I see her name pop up on socials. I never understood why my very lovely roommate put up with her entitlement. Not overreacting. When I lived in a dorm, I had 2 roommates. One always had her friends over. My mum used to send me these boxes, care packages, every month loaded with goodies. I don't know how many times I came back to my room with my roommate and her friends just helping themselves to my goodies. After telling her a couple of times that it just wasn't cool, I bought a lock for my closet and kept the box in there. People think they're just so entitled these days. Juicy says, turn every accusation back on them. They are creating division by stealing your belongings and not being trustworthy. You're safeguarding your belongings because they are an immature thief. If it's such a problem to lock up your food, there's a good chance they're taking other stuff of yours as well. Don't leave anything in the common areas and get a key lock for your personal space. You might also need to get a motion detection camera for when they break in so that you have proof. People like this have zero respect. Normal people would apologize and attempt to replace it. It's a special type of audacity that blames you for their bad behavior. It's just projection every time. It is always projection. Oh yeah, OP, setting and maintaining their personal boundaries when OP continues to have their food stolen is the one creating division and starting war? What do you mean? Holy projection, Batman. This person is just telling on themselves non-stop. Every accusation is a confession. Absolutely stand your ground, OP. Don't give in to the bullshit because you are not overreacting. I truly do believe in my heart of hearts that they're stealing more things that you are not aware of right now. And now, onto the update. Okay, I did not expect this to blow up like this. I'm laughing so hard. I haven't even got time to read all the comments. There's too many. However, my 2 big takes are, what is the cheese, and the note is aggressive. The cheese is Asadero cheese. It's Mexican cheese, and yes, if you look it up, you can probably buy it online. It is not the same though. The one that I like and get is from this small town with 10,000 inhabitants 2 hours away from my hometown. It just has this unique taste and it makes sense to me. The note is not aggressive, it's a joke. Like, hey, I'm locking my food away from you, but we're still cool. However, please stop stealing. I'm not actually gonna go to war, although it would be fun. Anyway, I'm pretty sure we've moved on. She's buying me lunch tomorrow, and I'm not getting rid of my lockbox, nor am I getting a mini fridge for my room. I like the idea of her seeing tasty stuff in my lockbox and not being able to eat it. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.